Hey, good evening, folks. This is the Doc. You are tuned in to FirebrandRockRadio.com, and what can I tell you tonight? I was sitting there a couple of days ago, chained to my desk as usual, when a package of CDs arrived through the post. Not a common occurrence in my case, as you often know. But I put a couple aside, thinking, they're for future reference, because I thought, what I'm looking at are tribute bands here. So, a couple of days goes on. And I saw this nice black shiny package with the letters X-UFO sitting on the front of it. And I thought I've got to have a listen to this. So this was being a Sunday morning. I put it into the CD drive. And my God, was I blown away by one of the probably best live performances I've ever heard on a disc. And then I started doing a little bit of research, and I found out this is actually original UFO members. Not a tribute band, but something entirely different. I'm very, very pleased tonight to be joined by Clive Edwards of said band. Good evening, Clive. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks.
I've got to admit, the live files is incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can tell how much we enjoyed sort of doing it, and it comes across. I think that's one of the really important ingredients, is that we really do enjoy and love what we do, and I think you can hear that in the actual music we play.
Yeah, that is very, very true. I mean, I'll be perfectly honest here. I don't play a lot of live music, as in, live gigs or live recorded tracks or anything like that on the show, because, well, basically, it never sounds the same. But I've played you guys every week religiously. I mean, it is really that impressive. It's like you've actually recorded it in a studio and added a crowd on for backing effect, which I know you haven't.
No, absolutely. I mean, like I say, I think we were so keen to do this when we all first spoke about the idea, and right from the very first time we played together. I mean, we've all worked together separately, but never as a unit before. I've worked with Rocky, I've worked with Lawrence, I've worked with Danny, and vice versa. But I always say that from the moment we started playing, we worked hard, but it was never hard work.
Yeah.
It was like instantly, it was tight. We never had to work at a track to make it sound any good. It was kind of everything we did, would just burst into life. And I think that has been really the way it's gone right from the very start, because it's still fairly early days.
I mean, like I say, it's incredible. What I've seen of you up to now, I mean, you've obviously been doing the local gig circuits and so on, which I noticed from the gig guides and so on that I have read, which is why when I saw these discs originally, the first thought that leapt to my mind was a tribute band.
Yeah.
Which you can see as soon as when you open the disc and start listening to it, you're far from that.
No, we don't regard ourselves. We're not a tribute band.
No.
We are a spin-off band. We are ex-members, and we have had this put to us many times about, you're a tribute band, you're doing covers. Well, I mean, we're covering a lot of the songs that we actually wrote, so that's not applicable either. But
that's why I thought I'd bring that sort of topic up early on in the interview, to actually just clarify that point from your own points of view, because, I mean, I've read the biographies on the site of all of you.
Yeah.
And it is like a who's who of rock music royalty on there. I mean, you guys have worked with some incredible people over the years.
Yeah, we've been, I can speak for myself. I mean, I've been absolutely blessed with some of the people I've worked with. I've had some fantastic experiences, and it's been an honour to work with a lot, and quite diverse as well, but, and over that period of time, I had actually worked with Rocky and I'd worked with Danny, and it's kind of, but we'd never worked really as a unit like with the X-UFO thing, but we've all had this really fantastic sort of pedigree of performing and recording with some of the best players, in rock ever, to be honest. I mean, some of the guitar players I've worked with are absolutely, awesome, and truly so. Lawrence has worked with some of the greats. You know, I mean, working with Phil Lynott. I mean, I was associated with Phil too for a while there. But you're right. I mean, you just look at where we come from. We are blessed with a great sort of track record as such. So hopefully people will look at that and go, well, these guys aren't just sort of doing it for the I mean, well, there isn't any money there, but to speak of. We're doing it because we're passionate about playing and about what we do.
Yeah, that I can understand. I mean, like I say, it's an incredible experience, and the package that you have put together and what you have on offer is amazing, because I believe, from what I've heard, that you're actually going to be recording some previously unreleased tracks.
Yeah, we're going to work on... The next album will be kind of like a bit of a hybrid, and there will be a couple of songs which were written a long time ago and were recorded, something like maybe along the lines of Martian Landscape. But Martian Landscape really cries out for a complete reworking, whereas a lot of the stuff which we did, I mean, we did a few tracks on Volume 1 which had never been played live before, like Love, Deadly Love.
Right.
Which... we always loved to bits. We always thought it was a fantastic track and everything else, but we never actually played that live with UFO in our time. So when we get the chance, we put that in. But it didn't need any rearrangement. And there's a lot of songs like that where, you don't really want to pull them apart and redo them, because that's the way we feel the song should be played, in our own style, of course.
Yeah.
But Martian Landscape is different. That needs to be re-engineered. There's far too many keyboards for us to do it live anyway. So that would be, because obviously Danny now has changed roles and is the main frontman and vocalist rather than just the keyboard player. So we will re-engineer that song, write some new songs, and look at stuff that hasn't been sort of used before. I mean, that'll be fun. It'll be the hybrid files.
Oh, you've got the title already, man.
Yeah. Well, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, there's so much to come from you guys, obviously. I mean, what are the plans for next sort of 6 to 12 months on this?
Well, we've already started writing, and we came very close actually at the weekend. A new song into the set which we've just written, but we played it at soundcheck and it sounded really, really good. So that is going to be a great one to add into the set. So over the next 6 months, we're looking to carry on gigging. We've got quite a few festivals. Unfortunately, Cambridge Rock is now being cancelled because the site is totally waterlogged. So we found out today. So that's a real bummer, because we were looking to play there next Sunday, and we were going to put the new song into the set, so that won't happen. But we've got plenty of festivals to come up. We're hoping we might be able to get out to the US later in this year. Mm-hmm. I think we're looking at maybe doing a few shows in New York, so that would be good. And we're really pushing to get some Scandinavian gigs as well. I mean, we want to get back out to Europe, because last year we had a lot of fun out in Italy and Bulgaria and Germany and all places like that, and we've done a nice little stint in mainly the north of England, getting some gigs. We're going to do some more there. So we're just trying to sort of cast our net a bit further and wider.
Sounds like.
And obviously in that time, I mean, one of the criticisms is, you're not writing enough stuff. We haven't had time. It takes so much time to sit down. We're all writers, and we've all got a great track record of writing songs, but they don't pop out of the woodwork in 5 seconds. You actually need to sit down and concentrate on and we've done that a bit, but it's difficult to get a band up and running, get it out on the road, prepare for gigs, rehearse for gigs. It's kind of, give me a broom and I'll sweep as I go. What, you want us to write songs at the same time as we're trying to rehearse up the set for live shows? So it really is the jumping off point.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. It's I've got some idea of how hard it is. I mean, I've got a lot of friends in the music business, and you hear all this stuff all the time. And yes, it is a difficult thing to do, but what you guys are doing, I mean, it's very, very clear that you gel together perfectly. So does that actually go across for the songwriting process as well, or?
Yeah, no, absolutely. In fact, the first song is a complete band offering. It was an idea that I had after a gig in I can't remember. I think it might have been Grimsby or somewhere, and just a like a germ of an idea, and then Rocky came over because Rocky's girlfriend lives not far from me, so he actually lives in Lincolnshire. He came over. We had a good workout on it, put it into a format and a shape, came up with the various like a verse fill, chorus, and a bridge section, and then Danny and Lawrence come over, and it's kind of just built up from there to a finished product. And I suppose we've probably got about 6 or 7 songs that are a bit like that, but that one is finished basically. We've got the arrangement, we've played it, so that one is ready to go. The others still need a bit more work. We've got some great stuff coming along, but you have to kind of switch your mind off from trying. You can't go in and do 2 things at once. If you're going to go into the studio to rehearse, to go out and do gigs, that's what you do. You can have a little knockabout on stuff up to a point, but you can't really try to go, right, let's work on these new songs. You need to just say, right, this weekend we won't be playing Backdoor Man, we won't be playing Lights Out, we're just going to work on these ideas. And there's another song called Live that Lawrence has been working on for a while. That's sounding really good. So we've got a lot of stuff where we've put the time in. We just need to have another. In fact, we may, because we're not going to gig this weekend, book the studio and go in this weekend and actually try and see if we can finish off a couple of others.
Oh, that is dedication. I mean, it also sounds like you have fun doing the hard work part of it, though, judging by the way you've just been speaking about, Danny Lawrence and everything. It sounds like it's all, let's all get together for a beer and sit down and work all this out, which is nice to see a lot of times these days. Because
yeah, no, it is. It's very much like that. We all get on. We all get off on each other's playing, as well. That's another important thing, So it's one of my favourite things is to get on the kit and play those songs and to work with Lawrence, Danny, and Rocky. So it's not a chore. It's never a chore. And like I say, we work hard when we go into a studio. We're not continually stopping for breaks or doing this or doing that. We go in. And if we're booked in for 4 hours or we're booked in for 6 hours, we do 4 hours or 6 hours. We work hard, but it's never hard work. That's the point. It's not like oh God, I wish.
Well, it comes across in the sound though. That does. I mean, it's such well crafted sound, well put together, and you can only achieve that sound if you do work together very well.
Exactly, and I think that was the thing that struck us all, because you can sit and, because we all kind of had the idea at once. I was talking to Danny. Danny said, look, am I mad? But what about doing this? And I said, funnily enough, I had a very similar conversation with Rocky 3 weeks ago where he was saying, God, I miss playing those songs. What about if we got together and we just went out and did a few gigs just to blow them, off, one more time kind of thing. So, but you still don't know it's going to work. As much as you like the guys, everything, you still don't know until you get in that studio and you start playing. And I took my little 16 track and, I played it back later and I thought, God, you would never have believed we've only ever played together for an hour. You were listening to it. It was as tight as anything and it was all bang on, and we're all, smiling. That's another surprise with some bands is, no, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. But none of that. We've just gone in and it's been really, really easy to get it to sound the way we wanted it to do. It's been hard work in terms of the amount of hours we've done, but we've not had to labour over how the sound of the band or what we're going to do. It was kind of everybody seems to be pretty much on the same page, and that's also important.
Yeah. I may be out of line asking this, but what do UFO actually think of what you're doing?
Well, I've heard differing stories.
Because the reason I asked was because I was I just got a call from the labels today. The latest albums came in. I noticed UFO just bought a new one out themselves. So I thought it was worth asking this question.